Good morning. I am so happy to see the majority of the audience, they are young and the students, which remembering me in my school and university life, which is the most beautiful days which I have spent in my life. Distinguished guest, Dr.Arjumand Zaidi, the National President of Youth for Human Rights, India. Father John Mantius Bishop. Surachi Garwal, National Coordinator of UNDP. Maulana Khalid Rashid. I am indeed happy to be with you today at this significant event regarding very important slogan and topics, peace and tolerance through human rights. I would like in the beginning to extend my profound thanks and appreciation to the National President of Youth for Human Rights, India, Dr. Arjumand Zaidi. I express my high appreciation as well to the people, to the young people, to the young and student, the governmental and non-governmental institution of India for their continuous support and solidarity with our Palestinian people to enable them regain and exercise their legitimate national rights, including their right of return, self-determination, and establishment of their independent state with east of Jerusalem as its capital. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the organizing committee for organizing this important and such an important event regarding the youth role for sustainable development through and based on the values of peace, tolerance, justice, dignity, freedom, and democracy. Also, lot thanks to host country Republic of India for their great support to the youth sector in general. I prepared myself to have a long speech about this very important topic, but I will try to be short because I believe that speeches not enough. We must concentrate in actions to know and to study how to practice and how to believe and practicing the universal values of Declaration of Human Rights and the principle of United Nations. Human rights are that allow people to live with dignity and freedom, equality, justice, and peace. Every person has these rights simply because they are human beings. They are guaranteed to everyone without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, or language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Human rights are essential to the full developments of individuals and communities. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the key to peace and tolerance anywhere, everywhere. Tolerance is the advantage of the cultural age. It helps us to put up with those who have diverse, traditional, and through distinct philosophical and philosophies and point of views. Our ability to tolerance the opinion or behavior other people. It is the key for living a peaceful life. If we practice patience in our every actions and deed, speech and behavior, it will lead to peace. Otherwise, it would be an atmosphere of disagreement and confusion. In ancient days, we had intolerance everywhere. Intolerance means refusal to be just and fair because of the being narrow-minded and behind selfishness. It is the result of inflexibility, certainly that there is only one belief that is right. Without broad-mindedness, people waste their energy on pointless arguments. How to promote peace and tolerance? It is a very important question. Promoting understanding and peace is innovative. We have remind people why life is beautiful, why they should work together, and why we must help each other. Because it is not about race or language or color or religion or who is right and who is wrong. It is about bringing together our world, healing each other, and embracing diversity. Also teaching not to fear, but to love. For instance, through law, new laws, media, and education. There is 5 important action or things we must to do to solidify the management's responsibility to promote peace and tolerance. Making the family responsible for nation building. Fostering peace and understanding among youth and teaching them away from extremism. Understanding among youth and teaching them away from extremism. Improving scientific and cultural matters. We are in India, the multicolor, the multi-religious, multi-language, a diversity country. India is nice because it has these values. So I ask for all of you to hold on and to believe on and to practice the values of the human rights and to love each other here. It is a great of India. It is a place of Mahatma Gandhi. India has a big role in the international forum, especially in the United Nations. All of you must be proud of India. That India drafted many or the most paragraph of the principle of United Nations and the human rights. I want to say that I'm monitoring the news. I am also like to hear about the youth activities. At the Global Forum of Youth, Peace and Security held in Amman, Jordan, over the week, over than 2 months, I think that delegates from 100 countries said young people were often ignored in discussion around conflict, even though they are deeply affected by it, and called on the United Nations Security Council to adopt resolution guaranteed them a seat at the table. Yes, the youth, they have the right to be part of decision maker in the national and regional and international level. Young people are highly engaged in transforming conflict, countering violence, and building peace, yet our efforts remain largely invisible, unrecognized, and even undermined due to lack of the adequate, participatory, and inclusive mechanisms and opportunity to partner with decision-making bodies. Almost, as you know, half of the world's population is under the age of 25. And of these, 1.2 billion people are aged between 15 to 24, including young people in issues that affect them, such as a conflict, can help to prevent them from turning to violence, said in Norway. Adding that the young people need more support to resist pressures to join extreme groups. It is very important. If we don't educate it, if we don't put the youth sector in the priority of national or regional or international agenda, we will face very difficult in the future, because the youth, they are the future of the world. The future of the world, the peaceful world, the tolerance world, and all of us monitoring how many fanatics and extremist groups in different regions. There is a lot of terrorist groups. As you know, the terror, it is not related with religious. You can find in every religious and in every nation. So we must feed the terrorism, through to educate the youth, and also to respect the human rights, and before that to believe in the human rights and the principle of United Nations. As you know, we live in the world in which systematic cruelty, discrimination, violence, and poverty are pervasive. Sometimes we ourselves suffer at the hands of these injustices, and other times in the suffering of others that we face. There are days when being awoke to the truth of the condition of the world is more than our hearts feel able to bear. All times such as these, we can experience equal parts outrage, overwhelm, heartbreak, and powerlessness. Our wellspring of empathy can seem unpetied, and we may feel exhausted by our concern for the world and the global family to which we belong. As all of you know, I am a Palestinian diplomat. I have family in the occupied territories. I born in Gaza, but my grandfather's land, it is in Israel now, in Ashkelon. They born there. We are refugees living in Gaza. The Palestinian people now, they are 12 million population. 50% of the Palestinian population, they are refugees out of their country since 1948. Until today, we still living under the Israeli occupation. Israel is still violating the human rights of our people in different fields and in different sectors. But we as a Palestinian people, we are the most educated people in the Middle East region. We build and we help to build some governmental institutions in our neighbor countries, in Arab countries. But we couldn't build our institution peacefully in our homeland because there is no border. Israel is still controlling our border. We couldn't invite you to welcome to Palestine and to visit Palestine only by the Israeli permission. For that, I would like to share with you some information about the Palestinian people. Meanwhile, the situation of the Palestinians has been getting steadily worse in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. The right wing of Israeli government continues it confiscate homes and land to expand Israeli settlement. Maybe you don't know what meaning of settlement. I don't want to politicize this conference, but only to share with you information that the historical Palestinian land before 1948, it is 27,000 square kilometers. Israel in 1948, they occupied 75% of the land. And during 48 until 1967, they occupied 3% of the Palestinian land. The remaining land in the occupied territories in Gaza, in West Bank, and East Jerusalem, it is 22% of the historical Palestine. Can you imagine? And we agreed to have a peace because we believe that the conflict between us, between the Palestinians and Israelis, could not be solved by force, by militarization. Only the peace and the peaceful way and the peaceful way we can solve this conflict. Israel still believes and consider itself they are above of the international law. Because the absence of the international community, Israel, it is accountable. Nobody can ask Israel to stop or to implement the United Nations resolution. We have 86 Security Council resolution. And we have hundreds of General Assembly resolution, which nobody, even the United Nations, could not implement. That's in the occupied territories. In 1994, we signed with the Israeli in the White House, the biggest and the superpower state, United States House, a peaceful, a historical agreement. Its name, Oslo Agreement, which is saying that Israel will withdraw from the all occupied territories which occupied it in 1967. That means the Palestinians, they will have their own state in the 22% of the historical Palestine. And we agreed, because we believe in the future. We want that our new generation, for the both people, our children, are to live in peace. Because in the future, the border will not mean anything like the European Union now. But the Israelis, in 1995, they killed their Prime Minister, Rabin, who signed the agreement. Since that time until today, the Israeli society became towards the right-wing parties, fanatical extremist group, and they are continuing their settlement enterprise policy. They are building settlement in the occupied territories, in the 22% of our land, now more than 200 settlements. When the peace process started in 1994, the settler, there were 150,000. Now, during the 26 years which Israel always escaped and not implementing any kind of agreement and not respecting the human rights, they didn't respect the United Nations resolutions, they didn't listen to the consensus of the international community to have a two-state solution. Now the settlers, they are more than 750,000. And we still struggling for freedom and dignity to have our independent state. And we are using the peaceful resistance which Mahatma Gandhi used during the British colonialism in India. But it is not good for Israel. Israel always provoking our people to fight by force. They how to say, they make it for war in the last 10 years. They destroyed Gaza totally. They make our legitimate leaders weak, and they are supporting indirect way the right-wing ideology of fanatical groups in our society. Anyway, I don't want to say many things here. It is enough. I want to mention here only some things about Palestine, which we still believe there is an occupation that must end now. There is a people that must be freed. The time has arrived to achieve our independence and consequently attain comprehensive peace and stability in the region. The United States and the United States administration leading by Trump, and all of you know who is Trump. They want to change the international law. They want to destroy the peace process through their shifting their embassy to our capital, East Jerusalem. They stopped funding the UNRWA, which they established in the United Nations. They are closing our embassy in Washington. And last week, the Secretary of State of USA, Mike Pompeo, he told that the settlement is illegal. It is not against the international law. And we don't understand. And many countries, even India, last week they voted in favor of Palestine with 172 states in the United Nations. Finally, I would like once again to extend my thanks and appreciation to all peace-loving people and forces of the world, as well as to all of you, your continuous support and solidarity with our people, and hope that we could celebrate this occasion next year in the Free Palestine. I would like to finalize my speech with Nelson Mandela. As you know, the grateful living can be most challenging when we are faced with incomprehensive pain and cruelty, but these are the moment when taking stock of the opportunities at hand can offer us greater agency, as Nelson Mandela said when he was released from 27 years in jail. As he said, as I walked out the door toward my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I should still be in the prison. Liberation and social change require action, and you can change. Only the youth, they can change, and they can protect their rights and to be part of the decision maker. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Arjumand Zaidi to give me this opportunity to be here with you. I wish all success for this conference. Thank you very much for your